I want you to think of your energy like a beautiful garden. If you don't put up a little fence, anyone can walk in at any time. They might trample the flowers, pick what they want, or leave trash behind because that's how they are. Now, if you build a gentle fence with a clear gate, it doesn't make you cold or unkind. It just shows people how to respect your space, and it keeps your garden thriving, which is what we want. That's what boundaries are. They're not walls, they're fences with gates. And today I want to show all my soft girls how to build those fences without losing their kindness and losing their mind. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel, and I'm so happy that you're here to learn and evolve with me. So this video is for all my soft girlies out there, the ones who care deeply and who are nurturing, empathetic, sweet, maybe even shy, but who also sometimes get walked all over by people. And I know for a fact that this is a real problem because I see it all the time, even when I'm talking to my friends or in the DMs, from you guys online, from other people online. So many of us struggle with boundaries. It's like no one has taught us how to say no without feeling guilty, and when we do, it feels like we're being mean or distant and we're gonna be alone forever. I hear girls online say this all the time, that it's so hard for me to say no. Like, how do you people say no? I feel like I'm hurting people's feelings. And if you've ever been taught how to create boundaries, or if you just identify as a soft girl, then this video is going to be a game changer one for you, because today I'm going to give you a full practical step-by-step framework plus exact lines and scripts you can use to protect your peace and still be that soft, kind, feminine version of yourself that you want to preserve and keep without being taken advantage of. So let's get started. Bring all your notebooks out because there are some notes you would want to make. Okay, starting with part 1 or chapter 1, why soft girls struggle with boundaries. If no one has ever taught you what a healthy boundary could look like, how on earth are you supposed to magically know how to set them? Most of us weren't raised in households where no, I don't want to do that because it's not aligned with me was welcomed. In fact, a lot of us were praised for being the good girl, the easygoing one, and then the one who didn't cause any problems and was just the good girl, whether it's in school or in your house. So what happens then is that you grow up thinking that love equals self-sacrifice, approval equals compliance, and connection equals constantly saying yes to things that I don't wanna, and every cell of my body says no to. For soft girls, unfortunately, this line becomes even trickier. If your natural personality as a person, or even a man or a woman, is empathetic, nurturing, or sensitive, you feel other people's emotions more deeply. So the idea of saying no isn't just uncomfortable, it feels like you're personally wounding someone, which you really are not. Maybe you say yes to every invite that you get, every favor, every extra project, not because you want to, but because you want to be liked and you don't want to risk disappointing anybody. Maybe you've fallen into people-pleasing loop. If I keep everyone happy, then I'll be safe, I'll be loved and validated. Or maybe you've learned to avoid conflict altogether because honestly, it feels terrifying too. Silence feels easier than confrontation for you. But what's the cost to this is that every time you abandon your own boundary, you chip away your own self-respect. You train yourself to believe that your needs don't matter as much as everyone else's, and that is exhausting, and no one should ever be in that place. This is why so many soft girls end up drained, resentful by the end of their life, or even burnt out, not because the people around them are all toxic, but because they didn't have the tools to protect their own space, which everyone should do by themselves in their life. And that's a part that we're going to change in this video, and hopefully you can learn something that's valuable for you to use if you're a soft girl, or if you're just an empathetic person, because boundaries don't make you less soft, they just make your softness sustainable. And I want to start with saying that here's the biggest reframe you can do in your mind, is that boundaries are not walls, they're just doors. A wall will shut people out, but a door says that here's how you can enter my world safely. This is how you open the door to enter my world safely, and we can have a good time together. When you set boundaries, you're not rejecting people, you're inviting them into a healthier, more respectful relationship with you, which you both enjoy and you both are happy with. That's love, and that's softness with a backbone, you could say. Okay, now let's get into the step-by-step framework that you're going to be using after this video if you want to preserve your energy and start creating boundaries. Step 1 is to notice the energy leak. Before you can set boundaries, you have to catch where you're losing energy. What is your boundary level at? And honestly, it usually shows up in the smallest of ways. That little sigh that you'll do before you're saying yes, that knot in your stomach when someone texts you, and that feeling of dread before hanging out with certain people or at certain times, those are signs. That's your body telling you that, hey, I don't want to do this, and a boundary is missing here, so please create one. And then step 2 is to get clear on what you need. Boundaries isn't about controlling people or making them change. That's not possible. They're about protecting your own needs. So ask yourself, what do I actually need in life right now? What am I craving? What does my mind and my body and my nervous system want? Maybe it's some more space, maybe it's rest, maybe it's going out more, maybe going out less, whatever it is, maybe it's respect. Once you know that, it's so much easier to communicate that without guilt because you're clear on what you want and why. And then step 3 is to use what I like to call the soft girl script formula. And this one's my favorite because it keeps things kind and not awkward for you if you're a soft girl. And the formula is simple. It's acknowledge the other person plus state your need and then a gentle redirect. Let me give you an example because you could be confused with this, is that you say something like, I love hanging out, but I can't stay late tonight, I need to rest. Or that thanks for thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity to help right now. Or that's just not something I'm comfortable with, but I appreciate you asking. So you're putting it in a kinder way. And that doesn't come off as cold, it's just respectful and clear of your needs. And then step 4 is to practice this in low stakes scenarios. If saying no feels terrifying, don't start with like your boss or someone you're really intimidated with. Start small. Say no to like an extra drink. Let's say you're getting a call at 2 a.m. Let that call go to voicemail. Don't answer a text right away. These little reps will train your nervous system to realize that nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad's gonna happen when you set small boundaries. The more that you do it, the easier it gets for you there. And then step 5 is to anchor with self-worth. And here's the part most people I've seen skip. Reminding yourself why this matters. Every single time you honor a boundary, you're teaching yourself that your needs as a person matter. And once you start believing that, you stop feeling guilty. I'm telling you, you will stop feeling guilty about saying no to anyone. And you realize that protecting your energy doesn't make you mean. It just makes you someone who respects herself. And trust me, once you respect yourself, other people will respect you way more because of it too. Let me give you a few specific scenarios that you can use these lines at. Say a friend asks you for a favor, but you don't have time for it. You can say something like, I really want to support you, but I'm maxed out this week. Can I help in a smaller way instead? Or that someone jokes in a way that hurts your feelings. You can say that I know you didn't mean any harm, but that felt hurtful to me, and I'd appreciate if we kept jokes like that away from me. Or with dating and relationships, you can say something like, I care about you, but I need to move at a slower or whatever pace that feels better for me to move and comfortable for me. Or with work boundaries, you can say something like, I want to do a great job, but I can't take on extra projects right now without compromising on my other work, and unfortunately I can't. These are gentle, they're clear, and they allow you to keep your softness while you're still being respected and having your boundaries up for. Another reason I feel like soft girls struggle with boundaries isn't just emotional, it's also biological. When you say no, your body might literally go into flight or fight mode. Your heart will race, your palms sweat for absolutely no reason, and your voice will shake. And that's not because you're weak, it's because your nervous system has linked conflict with danger. Maybe growing up, saying no got you punished or ignored or made things worse and made things tense. So now your brain thinks that setting a boundary is a threat, and we will never do that. And knowing this is powerful because it means that you're not bad at boundaries. Your body just needs to learn that it's safe at this age, it's okay. You know what you want and don't. That's why practicing small no's in safe scenarios matter so much. You're retraining your system and showing it that I can say no and still be safe and okay. If that person walks away, I'm okay. I'm still loved. And there's peace. Okay, now that you know the blueprint, you know what to do in scenarios and how to probably set your boundary in a kinder way. But let's talk, I want to dedicate this section to a part that no one addresses, and I think it's very important, is that what do you do when the relationship is already set a certain way? Because honestly, it's so much easier to set boundaries with new people because now you know that you need to set boundaries. You know what you've done in the past and you don't want to repeat that. And that's why you're watching this video. You meet someone, you start knowing them from day one, you know things you need to do, you know what you like, what you're okay with, and what you're not. And then you simply teach them that you treat me this way and they treat you that way because it's the start of the relationship. But what about relationships that have history? For example, best friends that you've had since high school, family dynamics that have been the same for 10 plus years, or your partner that you've been with forever and you've always given them everything, but now you're realizing that it's just draining you. What do you do in those type of scenarios? Because it's very hard when it's already an existing long-term relationship. That is very hard because every relationship is built on its own internal script. Think of it like an unspoken contract. You always answer my calls at 2 a.m. or you always drop everything for me when I need it. When you suddenly want to change that script, it feels like you're breaking the contract, especially if you're a soft girl. And that's exactly why soft girls struggle here, because we don't want to hurt someone or make it awkward, especially if it's a really important long-term relationship in our life. So in this case, I've learned what's most effective and what works the most is you communicate the upgrade. The method is that you have to treat it as an upgrade to the relationship and not a punishment. You have to understand that this relationship is going to get 10 times better if you communicate this. And the best way to do that is with honesty and reassurance to the other person. Firstly, you'll acknowledge the past pattern. You realize why it's draining you, what part of the relationship is draining you. Then you'll share what you've learned about yourself, that, hey, I was just journaling the other day and I feel like this part is really draining me and I don't want that for our relationship. Then you explain your new boundary with absolute love, and then you reassure them that the relationship will not change, it'll get better, and it still matters to you in your life. For example, I'll give you like a script I wrote, is something for a best friend is that, hey, I know that I've always been the person you call at 2 a.m. and I love that we're so close. I would always want to be there for you, but I've realized that it's burning myself out and I need to protect my sleep because I want to wake up at 4 a.m. And I'm still always there for you, but I just need you to save those deep talks for the daytime when I'm free. That way I can show up for you with full energy. That's it. You understand how sweet and nice that is, but you're just putting your boundary straight. Now that doesn't sound cold. You're not rejecting them. You're not saying that don't call me. You're saying that I want to show up for you better and this is how I'll do that. And now people might resist this at first, especially longer relationships, because that's the way you've been for years. But when you frame it this way, and this is how I want to keep the relationship healthy from now, most people will adjust to it if they love you. And if they don't, that's a red flag, because they only valued you because you didn't have boundaries and they could call you at any time they wanted because you were there for them whenever they needed. And that's when they need to walk out of your life. So yes, it's harder to reset boundaries in longer term relationships, but it's not impossible. It just requires courage, honesty, and practice and patience, because people will adapt to a new script. It'll take them time. If you've been watching this whole video and realizing that shit, I say yes when I really don't want to, I hate confrontation, and I literally overextend myself all the time for people, then this is your wake-up call. Because the truth is that people are not going to suddenly wake up and start respecting your boundaries out of nowhere. They don't know the reels you're watching or the videos you're watching. If you've been teaching them that I'm available 24/7, I'll bend for you, I'll always say yes, then they are gonna keep taking that version because it's easier for them. Not because they're evil, but because why wouldn't they? Like, why wouldn't I have something on the platter? Why wouldn't I have someone who's there for me all the time? So it's on you to flip the script. And no, that doesn't mean turning cold and suddenly ghosting everyone. It means deciding that your energy is expensive and not everyone gets unlimited access all the time. You need some for yourself as well. And if someone can't handle that, someone can't handle you having boundaries, that is the clearest sign that they were never meant for you, and they were only meant for the version of you that was in the past that didn't want any boundaries. So yes, keep being soft, keep being sweet, but back it up with like a backbone for you. And that's the combo that will make you unstoppable and full of energy and life and filling your own cup all the time. So yes, drop in the comments what is one boundary that you absolutely want to set this week. Even if it's small, it can start with something very, very small. Let's start doing this together, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, learn what you want and learn how to set boundaries, even if you're a soft girl.